A man in Seattle named Ken Dahl drove a leased Chevy Bolt. Careful driver, no accidents, no tickets. Then his car insurance renewal arrived, 21% higher. When he pushed for a reason, an agent pointed him to something he'd never heard of, his file at a data broker called LexisNexis. By law, they had to show it to him, so he asked. What came back was 258 pages about his driving, every trip he and his wife had taken for 6 months, start times, distances, every hard brake, every rapid acceleration, time-stamped, dated, scored. He hadn't installed anything. He hadn't signed up for a tracking program, not knowingly. His car had been reporting him the entire time, and the report had been sold to the people who set his price. Stay with me for 2 things: the setting inside your car or your car's app that may be switched on right now without your knowledge. And the buyers of this data you haven't thought of yet, because the insurance company is honestly the polite one. Here's how the pipeline works, because it was built to be invisible. Modern cars are computers with cup holders. They have modems. They phone home constantly. Automakers wrap this in friendly features: driver scores, safety coaching, gamified little dashboards that grade your braking. General Motors called theirs Smart Driver, and enrollment had a way of just happening. Buried in the flurry of screens on delivery day, bundled into the connected services setup at the dealership. Drivers later said they had no memory of opting in. Once enrolled, the car logged behavior events, the braking, the acceleration, the late-night trips. Then the automaker passed them to data brokers like LexisNexis and Verisk. The brokers packaged them into risk profiles. Insurers bought the profiles. And one renewal cycle later, a careful driver in Seattle is paying 21% more and can't find out why until he demands his own file. Stop and appreciate how much material a car has to work with. Industry estimates put a modern connected car's output at gigabytes of data per hour: position, speed, seatbelt status, which seats are occupied. The car knows when you leave for work, where you park at night, how often you visit the liquor store, and whether you sped up or slowed down on the way. Your phone needs your permission for most of what it knows. Your car watched you earn a speeding ticket's worth of data before you left the driveway. And the delivery day paperwork was the only permission slip it ever needed. Zoom out, and it gets worse than one program. In 2023, researchers at Mozilla reviewed the privacy policies of 25 car brands. All 25 failed, the worst product category they had ever reviewed. Car privacy policies claimed rights to collect not just where you go and how you drive, but data flowing from your phone the moment you pair it. And one automaker's policy famously reserved the right to collect information about your, quote, sexual activity, unquote. Nobody knows exactly what that meant in practice. You agreed to it at a touchscreen while the salesperson waited, and the sensors keep multiplying. Newer cars ship with cabin cameras, sold as driver monitoring for safety, watching where your eyes point, whether your hands are on the wheel. The footage from car cameras doesn't always stay in the car. At one electric car maker, employees were caught privately sharing clips recorded by customers' vehicles, including from inside garages. Nobody who bought those cars imagined a break room audience. Treat any camera or microphone in the car like the ones on your phone. Find the setting and turn off what you didn't ask for. When this surfaced publicly, a reporter put the Seattle story on the front page. The dominoes went fast. GM stopped sharing driving data with the brokers within weeks. Lawsuits piled up. The state of Texas sued GM, alleging data from over 1.5 million Texans had been sold without meaningful consent. Federal regulators went after the practice, and GM ended up barred from sharing driving data for years. But that was one program at one automaker that happened to get caught in daylight. The industry around it, the connected car, the broker pipeline, the scoring, is still standing, still legal, and still mostly invisible. These programs were sold to drivers as a reward. Safe driver discounts, insurance, based on how you actually drive. Sounds fair. But scoring is a two-way door. The same data that discounts one driver surcharges another. A hard break doesn't come with context. It doesn't know the difference between recklessness and the deer, the school run, the drunk driver you avoided. And unlike your credit score, this shadow driving score came with no warning label, no annual notice, no dispute process. Most drivers learned it existed the day their premium jumped. You weren't offered a deal. You were enrolled in a grading system you couldn't see, by a car you already paid for. The insurance company isn't even the buyer that should worry you most. Location and behavior data leaks in darker directions. Automaker apps that let an owner see where the car is have been used by abusive exes to stalk their former partners, documented cases, restraining orders, and all. The shared family car became the tracking device. Leaving a relationship and a car's staying behind or coming with you? Treat the car app like a shared password. Check who has access and make the automaker remove the other driver. Data brokers resell to more brokers, and everything your infotainment system ingests can sit in the car's memory long after you stop driving it. The contacts you synced, the texts it read aloud, the call logs. Rental cars are the same trap on a weekly cycle. Scroll the Bluetooth menu of your next rental, and you'll find a graveyard of strangers' phones. First names, full contact lists, sometimes their home address sitting in the navigation history under the word home. So here's what to actually do. 5 moves, 1 evening. Move 1. Check your enrollment. Open your car's app or the connected services account you set up at delivery and go to Settings, Privacy, Data Sharing. Look for anything named like Smart Driver, Driving Insights, or usage-based programs, and turn off what you didn't choose. If the menus stonewall you, call the automaker's connected services line and say the words, "Opt me out of all data sharing with third parties." Move 2. Pull your own file, because you're entitled to it. LexisNexis and Verisk both have consumer disclosure request pages, and under federal credit reporting law, the report is free. Request it the way Ken Dahl did. Best case, it's empty. Worst case, you find your own 258 pages. And now you know. Move 3. If the file is wrong, dispute it. Same law, same rights as a credit report error. If your premium ever jumps without explanation, ask the insurer directly whether a third-party driving report was used and demand the copy. They priced you off a document about you. You get to read it. Move 4. Infotainment hygiene. In a rental car, think before you tap, sync everything. Connecting your phone for music doesn't require donating your contact list, so when the screen asks to import contacts and messages, that's a no. Before you return the rental, take 30 seconds. Delete your phone from the Bluetooth list and clear any navigation history. And before you ever sell, return or trade in your own car. Factory reset the head unit and delete your phone profile, the same way you'd wipe a laptop before handing it to a stranger. A free app called Privacy for Cars walks you through it for most makes and models. One honest nuance: not all telematics is a trap. Usage-based insurance, where you knowingly install the insurer's app for a discount, is a real trade, openly offered. The scandal was never that driving data affects prices. It's that people were scored without knowing the game existed. Data for discount you chose is a deal. Data for surcharge you never knew about is a con. Move 5. The day you get a new car, treat the delivery screen ceremony like what it is: a contract signing. The touchscreen agreements on day 1 are where the sharing gets switched on. You're allowed to say no. You're allowed to sit in the driver's seat and read. And when you sell a car, unlink it from your app the same day, so the new owner isn't driving around with your account watching them. Turning off third-party data sharing does not disable your car. Navigation still navigates, emergency crash response still works, the app still starts the heater on a cold morning. What you're switching off is the resale of your behavior, not the features you paid for. Automakers bundle services and sharing into one warm paragraph on purpose, hoping you won't split them. Keep the tow truck button, kill the broker feed. Here's the frame to keep. Your car became a phone somewhere in the last decade, and nobody sent the memo. So give it the phone treatment. Permissions checked, sharing off, accounts unlinked, memory wiped when it changes hands. You wouldn't hand a stranger your text messages. Don't let the dashboard do it on your behalf. Tonight, 2 of those moves take 15 minutes total. Flip off the data sharing in the app and request your LexisNexis file. Do those and you're ahead of nearly every driver on the road. If this was worth your time, subscribe. One real threat, plain English, fix the same night, every week. And send this to the person who just bought a new car. Delivery day is exactly when it matters.